What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 90 Minutes Strong. I'm with Austin. Austin, what's up?
Oh man, I'm anxious. I'm nervous, but it's a big day, right? It's a big day.
You're nervous. You're a little
Oh,
nervous
very
or
nervous.
big nervous?
A big nervous. Big nervous.
If we roll back the tape 3 weeks ago, you probably wouldn't have said the say what you're saying right now, aren't you? Would you?
Oh, I didn't think that it would get to this point. I thought we had an easy win. But hey, listen, here we are. A little bit of adversity, but I don't think it's anything we can't handle.
So let's just jump right in. As we all know, it's nothing new. Miami loses. Miami lost against Orlando City 2-1 in their opening match last Wednesday. Orlando plays in in an hour. No, plays right now.
Yeah, in a couple minutes, this should be kicking off.
A couple minutes against NYCFC, who lost to Philadelphia, and we played Philadelphia.
I think that score was 1-0.
1-0 for Philadelphia, and now we play Philadelphia tonight. It's 10:30 p.m. Probably the strongest team in the group.
Yeah, I would say so. Although they looked a little shaky against New York City, they didn't have that same Philadelphia quality that we're used to. It's still definitely the strongest team. And New York City actually probably should have won that game. I'll be honest with you. They played a lot better, held the ball better, more shots. But Andre Blake was on form, and that's something we're going to have to look forward to tonight. But let's talk about this New York City-Orlando matchup. I know that we need a couple – I mean, if we want to progress.
We need from what I can – from my math, which is really bad because I'm not a mathematician, we need New York to win. So that way everything is evened out. So that Orlando, New York, and Philadelphia all have 3 points.
And then we have to win, though.
We win. That way it's all tied at 3.
That's
what I can say, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
I think you're right. So if we get the 3 points and New York City get the 3 points, we all go into the last match day, which is next Monday. Tied at 3 points.
Yep.
That's huge.
It is. So here's some things going on right now. The Orlando and New York game is currently under weather delay, which Florida, right? Everything in Florida is weather delayed. It's under weather delay. I'm looking at Twitter right now.
Okay.
They're playing. It says under weather delay. Be back soon. But here are the starting lineups for those teams. So maybe we can see what they're all about. So Orlando, from what it looks like, is they're going exactly the same way they played against Miami. They got Galazi in the back, Moutinho, Jensen, Antonio Carlos, Juan, Rosell, Urso at middle, Mueller at the left, Pineda, Pereira. Wow, I just can't read today. Pereira on the right, and then up top, Nani and Dwyer. Who should have gotten a red card last game, but that's besides the point.
Terrible. Good luck to the New York City players not getting
New York City doesn't give me their formation; it just gives me names. So I'm going to assume the top is the goalkeeper. So we got Johnson, then we got Tennerholm, Chanot, Kalines. I'm butchering these names. If you know them better than mine,
you're doing a good job. Keep going.
Matarita, Sands. I can do that one. Sands, Ring, and then this one's going to be a big one. Thora Rinson. Thor.
He's probably some from Finland or something.
Thor. His name is Thor.
Okay, we'll go with Thor.
Medina, Castellanos, and Erber, I guess. So that's their lineup.
One thing I can take away from this lineup from New York City is that with Chanot, Thor, and Ring in the midfield, that's what really dominated the whole portion of the game against Philadelphia.
Yeah.
The possession stats I think on paper weren't as crazy as it seemed, but New York City actually dominated that game, and it was due to them playing well after watching it. So that'll be something to look forward in the Orlando game. We know how Orlando play, very physical. I don't know if they're going to let New York City be on the ball as much as they would like because they're going to put in those tackles. They're not going to drop back. They're going to, go full force. We saw that against Inter Miami. We had trouble. Couldn't play it out of the back.
Right.
So it'll be an interesting matchup to see tactically how these teams will go up against each other when they're two totally different styles.
Mhm.
But yeah, let's really hope New York City can pull out a win so we can even this group up.
Yeah. And again, Orlando isn't the best team. They got a good win. No, looking back, they got a good win against Miami on Wednesday, last Wednesday. They got the job done. Now they need to come out there today if they want to secure a spot in the playoff section of the bracket. I guess they need a win because then they'll be ahead of everybody else in the group. New York, in their hands, New York needs obviously New York and Miami both need a win. That's without saying because they both have no points and they're both one goal back.
Yeah.
So New York needs a win. Miami needs a win. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, with this New York Orlando game being delayed a little bit, we might not see our soccer until late night today.
It'll be late night because I know that they have no problem with playing at 1 a.m. So
yeah, it'll be like a 1 a.m. game. Like I was watching. So today I was watching a little bit of the Sounders game at 9, and it was miserable, man.
yeah,
Like you can tell that those guys from Seattle were not ready to play. It was 6 a.m. for them.
yeah. Well, I mean, they've been there for a couple of weeks, but still, it's hard to shake that
It's
off.
6 a.m. for them, and they lost to Chicago, which we all said, "Oh, Chicago, blah blah blah."
Bad team, but Chicago. Wow.
Chicago came out in first game in over 120 something days and got a 2-1 win over the champions.
That's the thing about this tournament, man. We have
That's
no
the
idea
thing
what's
about
going to
this
happen.
tournament. Exactly. And I remember we were just like trashing Chicago. Not even 3 weeks ago. Like, oh, it's trash. That's a guaranteed win.
Good thing we don't have to play them if they play like that against Seattle, man. Oh.
They played well against Seattle, and it was, but those 9 a.m. games are hard. I'll tell you what I'm proud about MLS though. They made the Adidas logo slightly smaller.
Not slightly, a lot smaller.
So now it's not as annoying. It's still annoying, but it's not as annoying as game 1 on Wednesday. That was pathetic. But now it's a little smaller. I was kind of proud of them. I was like, hey, you guys are learning. You guys are learning a little bit.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
A lot easier to watch now. I think they adjusted the camera angles too, if I'm not mistaken. It looks a little better on TV from the
I don't know. I think from what it feels like is we're just getting used to it.
Yeah, that could be totally true.
I think we're just getting used to it, or they're learning how to do a better way of changing the cameras once the ball is.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It looked good last night when I was watching the LAFC game, which was a fantastic game. Ended 3-3. That game was came back from 3-1. It was a great game. But I was watching that game and I noticed that the camera seemed a lot better. It seemed closer. It seemed like it was more direct. So
I think it might have been that they're just like relearning how to use the cameras too. Yeah. Because again, it's a different size field.
Yeah,
they're not used.
It's a pop-up field. They just made it just for this tournament. It wasn't a field before. So
yeah, those fields are actually the field. Like, have you ever been to
I have not personally. No.
Yeah, those fields are the ones on the right side when you walk in that aren't really a field. So it's just like a grass area, and so they made it into a field. So hey, props to them. It blew my mind. Like obviously I knew this on Wednesday, but like I can't it's awesome how they have this 3D looking jumbotron behind the goals that are not really real, but they're real to us.
Yeah.
I thought that's pretty neat. I still can't believe how much ads they have on that screen.
It's a lot.
But I do think the jumbotron's pretty cool. But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about Inter Miami.
There we go.
Inter Miami has to win tonight. They have a tough opponent in Philadelphia, and yeah, I mean, what do you think is going to happen tonight? I think it's the best question to ask the guy who thinks we're always going to win. What do you think is going to happen tonight?
So I'm going to start with our tactics. I think that we are going to need to, and I mean, I'm preaching this again and again, is the midfield play. That's the thing about MLS. For me, the defense isn't good. The attacks aren't great. They score goals like crazy. Yeah. But if you can control possession, you can win games in MLS. Mm-hmm. Our midfield play against Orlando was extremely shaky. I mean, awful. Trapp and Ujoa did not play good games at all. Yeah. Other than the one time that we scored. Trapp got the hockey assist Ulloa got the actual assist. A good finish from Agudelo. We'll take it. But we need to play like that all game. We need to control the possession. We need to do exactly what we did against LA and exactly what we did against DC. Do I think Trapp or Ulloa, do I think they're both going to get the start today as a pairing? Probably not. I think this is where Alonso's going to switch it up. He's going to go to his other veteran because we know Ulloa and Trapp have been in the league a while. But Lee Nguyen came on as a sub and actually changed the game instantly against Orlando. I mean, instantly. So we know Lee Nguyen back in the day, before his LAFC days, was a center attacking mid. We saw him going forward. With LAFC, he dropped back a little bit under Broad Badley and became more of a defensive-minded guy. So he knows how to control all of an MLS midfield. I think you slot him in. If he plays a 3-4-3 or a 4-2-3-1, whatever he does, he can play that CDM role or regular center mid role, pair with either Ulloa or Trapp, and get it moving. I think Lee Nguyen is really going to be vital to this game, our X factor. But yeah, for me, it's all comes down to the midfield play. And if we can control the possession against this weaker Philadelphia midfield, it'll be good because we're going to have to get shots on target. And I was talking about Andre Blake. Andre Blake in the first two games wasn't the Andre Blake that we were used to seeing. And then he just turned on the gears against New York City, had like 7 or 8 saves, I think it was, and played out of his mind. So we need to make sure that, hey, we get shots on target because they're not all going to go in and this guy's going to make saves. So if we control the possession and we can get shots off, we'll have a good chance of winning this game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. Looking at the lineup from last week's not last week, whenever Philadelphia played New York, they were going on a 4-3-3 kind of thing going there. They had Martinez in the back and Montero and Bedoya on the right and the left, respectively.
Yep.
And then Bedoya played well. Obviously, he scored the goal,
he scored a very nice goal.
Yeah, he scored a goal, but he played well, and he's going to be someone definitely that Miami needs to watch. Miami, again, I think that we agree on a lot of things because it's just the facts. Miami's midfield is just not very good right now.
They played awful.
They're confused. They don't know, a lot. They don't know what they're doing with this midfield, from what I could tell. The whole Sweat, Ulloa, Trapp, Fagal thing didn't really work against Orlando. So it'll be interesting to see what they do today. We kind of mentioned a little bit about the lineups that they were talking about, and Lee Nguyen has to be playing today.
I agree. Yeah, he has to.
When he came in from LAFC, a lot of people were very excited to have him in Miami because of being an MLS vet and actually a really good player. And then he kind of just fell out of quote unquote graces, I guess, because he wasn't really playing very well. Not very well. He wasn't playing a lot, which was interesting because he's a guy that, with me, I strongly believe that MLS players have an advantage in MLS, which is like a stupid thing to say, but it's true because
it makes sense.
They know how the game is played, and a guy like Nguyen and a guy like my boy De La Garza, they make a difference in these games, and you could see that in the Orlando game. Lee Nguyen came in on the Orlando game, made a difference. Pizarro came in, did not make a difference.
Yeah, it was I mean, he came in under rough circumstances. He got subbed on for Reyes. Wasn't expecting to come in at the time. Alonso had a completely change of formation, and it's kind of what led to the goal. We had to go to 4 in the back, and Niels got beat on the right side, had no help. Boom. So, I mean, the 5 in the back is going to be key. I think Alonso is going to stick with it. But I do think that you might see some of these MLS veterans like Lee Nguyen and maybe even De La Garza get starts today. Because, Niels, as good as he was at right back, he did give up the goal. He did get beat by Nani. But if you play someone like De La Garza to guard someone like Bedoya or a younger guy in Aronson for Philly, you might need that. You really, really, really might need that. So it'll be interesting. When it comes to the attack, do you think Pizarro gets to start today?
I don't see why he wouldn't, unless he's still hurt and he didn't get better in the week he was off, because Miami's better with him on the field. I'm not saying that he's not good. He's a very good player, but him coming in off the bench was not helpful.
Mm-mm.
He didn't have the rhythm that he needed to keep going. And so I think Alonso realized that and said, "Hey, now if you're not fit, you're not going to play." Because in this tournament now, the way that it is, if you lose tonight, the chances of moving forward are very slim. Like we were
Very.
talking about off air, it's going to be, you're going to have to end up being one of the better third place teams in each group. So there's not a lot of chance. So now it's about winning. And if Pizarro is 90% healthy, he needs to play.
I agree.
There's
Yeah.
no reason. There's no reason that he shouldn't be playing if he's healthy enough to play. There's no reason for him not to be playing, not starting, because he needs to get that groove going. He needs to start being able to find the spots and figuring out how to connect with like a Pellegrini and a Morgan kind of guy. He needs to understand how to do that.
It's exactly. We didn't have that. There was no connection. There was no creative play. There was no playmaking at all against Orlando. And Pizarro is a guy.
Pizarro's a playmaker. He's the number 10.
Pizarro is the number 10. He will be the playmaker.
Yeah.
Even here's the thing. One thing that I'll get stick on is how I want Pizarro to play over on the left wing.
Uh-huh.
Now, I don't want Pellegrini to start today. I don't think that Pellegrini is a starter right now. He's 18 years old.
Yeah.
He's our DP, but I don't think he's a starter right now. I think you bring him on in 60 minutes, fresh legs, little guy can absolutely run. So you give him that against tired legs. In the DC game, we saw Pizarro start on the left wing. When you look at the first 5 minutes of that game, or first 7 minutes of that game, when we scored our goal, Pizarro and Morgan have this link-up play that is phenomenal. You see Pizarro running up through the middle, almost like Carlos Vela. Carlos Vela, they'll have him up top, but you see him, or they'll have him on the right. You'll see him moving from left to right, left to right. I think Pizarro can be that guy for us. No, I don't think he's all the way up to Vela's standards because he's one of MLS's greatest of all times, honestly. But Pizarro is a guy that you need to have on the field, whether it's in the number 10 role or not. I'm saying to put him on the left wing because I want the 5 in the back formation to hold down the wing play, not let Bedoya and Aronson get too much space, but give Pizarro freedom. Give him a bunch of freedom. Let him link up with Lewis Morgan. Here's the thing about Pellegrini and Morgan. They are a step above a lot of the other players on this roster due to their experience in other countries.
Yes.
I think that having a European talent in Lewis Morgan is huge, and he's been very consistent for us. When it comes to Pizarro, one of Mexico's best stars when we signed him, he's 27 or 28 years old, got him in his prime, and here we go. He was getting ready to move on to Europe, but Inter Miami swooped in, and we took him. Those are talents that we have to have creating plays and trying to put in balls for goals or score the goals themselves. Without that, and without the pressure against an MLS defense, which are notoriously weaker than what we've seen around the world, you're not going to win games. So Pizarro, Morgan need to start today. I know that Pizarro was hurt. He had the knock, but he's got to be on the first 60 minutes.
Yeah, Morgan showed a lot for me last week. I wasn't really expecting much from him, and he played very, very well. The 2 free kicks he had that were nearly goals. You gotta have a guy like that playing every single game. There's no way that guy can't play. And Pizarro, like I just mentioned, if he's 90% ready, he should play. If he's 85% ready, he should play. He there's no reason he shouldn't play because he
even
needs
if it's 60 minutes, because then you could just sub on Pellegrini.
Exactly.
Or you can like, I don't know, I guess Agudelo, because I don't think he's going to start today, but someone like that can come on for the last 30, 15 minutes of a game to give Pizarro that rest if he can't go the full 90.
Yeah, exactly. But Pizarro's a better player once he starts a game. He's not a good player coming off the bench. Because he needs that time to get used to playing and getting into like understanding where players are. And listen, coming on as a sub is difficult.
Oh yeah,
because you don't know what kind of play it's good. Like you can see the game from the sidelines, but it's not the same thing as being on the game. So it's a very different style, and for sure that's one of the reasons why things didn't work out very well. Obviously, there was a whole emotional aspect going on as well on Wednesday, but if I really think if Pizarro was starting from the start, we probably would have had a better chance of winning the game.
Now, what about striker? Do we go with Agudelo or do we throw in Carranza?
I don't think that Alonso is going to make as many changes as we want him to make. And I
Really?
think he's going. I know I know I put on the Twitter. I know I put Carranza up there, but
Mhm.
afterwards I was thinking more about it, and I'm like, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of changes as much as we want.
Wow.
So I think he stays. Waddell stays, and he gets another chance.
Okay.
He
I mean,
gets
he
another.
scored. Great,
He
he scored.
scored, yeah, but I
But
think he gets a chance. And again, but if he can't get it done in the first 45 minutes, Carranza has to come in and play.
okay,
And I
I can see that.
and one of the biggest things, and one of the big things for me too that we haven't really even touched on yet is the possibility of Torres coming back because he already served his red card.
Yep.
So the possibility of him returning to the back line is there. Will it be done? I don't know.
Do
That's
we do we risk playing Reyes? We don't know to the extent his injury was. An MLS article came out a couple days ago saying that he was back to full team training and is fully available to play tonight.
mhm.
But do we risk putting Reyes back on? I mean, it was a throat injury.
Yeah. I
He
would
couldn't
put
breathe.
Torres in.
You would put. See, here's the thing though. Do you go with because if we play a 5 at the back
Yeah.
with 3 center backs, those 3 center backs are best on the team: Torres, Reyes, Figal,
Yeah.
by far. If you play someone like Lillard and Ambrose, you kind of have this weak spot in the back line, which you don't really want.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as I want the 5 in the back formation, now you've got me thinking about this because with Torres coming and Reyes not being, he might stick with it. He might go back to a 4 at the back.
And that's what
Figal
I
and
thought. And
Torres.
that's what I think is going to do. I think
Okay.
I think it's going to be a Sweat, Torres, Figal, De La Garza back line. Is it going to happen? Probably not.
You want De La Garza. That's your guy.
In my
That's your guy.
in all the time of predicted lineups, I've always never made the right choice, except once during the World Cup. I got like Klinsmann's beautiful diamond perfectly aligned, and that was crazy. But I usually don't get these right. What I wanted to see, I want to see those 4 in the back because I rather have Reyes come in if he needs to come in either a halftime or if Alonso realizes, hey, this back 4 is not working the way I thought it would work. So I need somebody else in there and bring in Reyes to try to
I
close
have
it
a
down.
question for you. Or how comfortable are you with? Okay, because Ben Sweat got a lot of stick in his last week because he was playing at center back, kind of out of position, not his thing. Got a lot of stick. Do you play Nealis at right back and play someone like your boy AJ De La Garza over on the left side? Is
Oh
that a
man,
possibility? Because I mean, he hasn't had too much of experience at left back, but there have been times in MLS where he's played on the left side, even at center back. He's just an all around defender.
yeah. I
Do
don't
you play
think
someone like De La Garza at left back?
that at the game we're playing today is a game that you can do experiments in because this is a must win game. And again,
Or is that the best time to do experiments? Because
is it?
do you give Philly something? Here's the thing. Almost every game for us throughout this entire inaugural season is an experiment.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, we found some solids, right? Someone like Pizarro and Morgan and Figal. But when it comes to a right back or a left back position, is there something that you do to change it up to give some little shake up to the opposition to
Yeah,
give
you
them
could
something
try.
they don't expect? I don't know. I mean, Diego Alonso isn't known for taking those risks. He's very solid in what he likes to do. But we'll see.
Yeah, I would love to see a lot. So my lineup, like we put it out on 90 Minutes Strong on the Twitter page, but I am changing one thing in it. So my lineup right now is the back 4 is Sweat, Torres, Figal, and De La Garza. In the middle, I got Trapp and Ulloa, but I would switch Trapp and put Lee Wen in there instead of Trapp.
Fair, yes.
And then I got Pellegrini, Pizarro, and Morgan on up front, not up front, yeah, in the middle, attacking mid sort of thing. And then there I got Carranza up top, but I would switch that to Agudelo because it would make sense to keep him. Because yes, he scored a goal. Like yes, he's not what we want, but he scored a goal and he might be feeling a little more comfortable playing.
Nerves are out,
Yes, so we see that, and we haven't talked about this yet. They're wearing their black uniforms today.
Yes, that's true.
And those black uniforms have special superpowers because they are the nicest uniforms I have ever seen in my life.
Without a sponsor, even. But yeah, they're very nice. We're not wearing our white training kits, basically, that look so boring and bland without a sponsor. But
we're wearing the black ones. What are they called again? Remind me.
La Rosa Negra.
La Rosa Negra. So we're going to wear that tonight.
which is our first time ever. In the first 3 games that we lost, no black uniforms, all white. So
All right.
now that we switch it up to
If
black,
we win, you just
I
got
don't
to
think
keep
you
wearing
ever
it.
go back to white ever again. Never. If we win
Yes.
tonight, just don't even wear white uniforms ever again.
Switch to pink. Make the training kits the white, and then make
Exactly.
the away kits the pink training kits.
There you go.
That's what I thought was going to be the actual thing. Anyways, I don't understand why.
I mean, Inter Miami put us on the football operations team
Like,
because
I
we
don't
got
know
this.
why. I don't know why it's not pink. It would have been so much more sense to be the pink training kits instead of the white ones. That's not a here nor there. But we were talking a lot on Twitter this week, and we had some interesting conversation with some fans, and we asked questions like, hey, if you have any questions, drop them below so we can talk about it on air. And we got a really good one, and I think it's probably one of the best questions I've ever seen, because we haven't really had much to talk about when it comes to Inter Miami yet. So this is one of the better questions we've gotten. And while we're talking about this question, if you guys have any questions yourselves, just drop them in the chat below, and we would love to to expand on them. But this one comes from Twitter. Twitter name at Mautimaya, I guess. Is it fair to question Alonso if Inter loses tonight?
Wow. That's yeah, I have a lot to say about this because
go for it. We got time.
Game's
only at 10:30.
The thing is with Diego Alonso is that he was never our first choice.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think so. I don't think that Paul McDonough said that Diego Alonso was the first choice for the head coach. Mm-hmm. Do I think we settled for him? A little bit. Do I think he's a great coach? Yes. He's a proven winner. 2-time winner of the CONCACAF Champions League, won the Mexican League a bunch of times. He's a proven winner. Mm-hmm. MLS is a totally different style of play.
Yes.
But 4 losses from 4 is a tough start. So, yes, this question is completely valid. Do I think that it's fair to question him? No. But that depends on how this night goes. Because I will confidently say, in the first 3 games that we played, no team outclassed us. No team was tactically better than we were. Mm-hmm. With the product that we're putting on the field, mm-hmm. with the level of we have quality players, but they've never played together before. This is a brand new team. Alonso doesn't know half these players. He doesn't even know MLS. Yes. And yet we're still putting up a fight against LAFC, who had just won the Supporters' Shield. Mm-hmm. We're still 9 minutes away from beating DC after a terrible red card call and a penalty and a rebound off a free kick.
Yeah.
We're losing a 95th minute to Orlando in a tournament that nobody knew what the hell was going to happen, and it was 134 days back from play. Mm-hmm. This goal differential, -3 in 3 games, is not bad. And I think that we were unlucky to come away with points. But when you look at the tactics of the game and the possession stats and all of these kinds of things, I think that Diego Alonso has it right. I just think we need to get a little bit more on the lucky side, because that's a thing in football to me. I think that some things just didn't fall our way. Right. If Vela isn't playing for LAFC, no one's scoring a chip like that. Mm-hmm. If Vermeer isn't man of the match, we're scoring more goals in LA. So to me, I don't think that Alonso deserves to be in question. I think that it's fair to ask it, because 4 losses from 4 would be devastating, but I don't think that he's on his way out anytime soon. You at least finish the season, see where we end up, see who we bring in, because there's still time for that. And past that, I think that Alonso will be here for a couple more years.
Is it fair to question him? Yes. Is he on the hot seat? No. 3 losses is not good. 1-0, 2-1, and 2-1. They're not good. Two of those losses could have been easy wins that they didn't work out. I wouldn't question him playing, because I wouldn't question him staying, because soccer in the United States is a little different than anywhere else around the world. Obviously, if this was anywhere else in the world, like if this was Mexico, if this was Brazil or whatever, the guy would have probably been fired by now, or be fired after tonight if he loses.
But here's the thing. Places like Mexico and Brazil and these top leagues don't have quote unquote expansion teams like we do.
Right.
I mean, clubs come up from the 2nd and 3rd division of their football pyramid. Yeah. For us, It's a brand new team thrown in the
Mhm.
top division of the league. And you have to bring in players from who knows where through
Yeah.
an expansion draft who you're only taking, the players that aren't protected or you're signing random players from around the world that don't know anything about MLS and you're bringing
Mhm.
them here and trying to put together a roster. It's a
Right.
lot different to put a coach in the hot seat in that scenario than it is someone coming up from a second or a third division
Yeah.
club to the top flight.
No, I 100% agree. That that's and that's what I was getting at. For example, like because I was going to make the comparison between Adrian Heath and Alonso. Adrian Heath should have been fired half a season into Orlando's first year
Yeah.
because he understands soccer in the United States. He understands how it's played, and he still did poor decisions that cost Orlando City their season. Alonso doesn't understand. He doesn't know any better, and there's no way to know better than getting experience under your belt. And like we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, it's an expansion team that nobody really expected much from. We didn't expect to be Atlanta United, and we weren't expecting to be FC Cincinnati. We were expected to be in the middle. And yes, he wasn't the first choice to be the coach. He doesn't understand MLS. He doesn't understand that these players that he has are actually good. The MLS players, I mean, that need to be used. But again, it comes with time, and I've always been a preacher of time in any capacity. I was and still am and forever will be the biggest supporter of Jurgen Klinsmann because I believe he needed time, and he wasn't given that time because America is based on results, and he wasn't getting the World Cup, lifting the World Cup. Therefore, he's a failure, which is 100% false. He needs time. Alonso needs time. He needs to understand the way soccer is played in the U.S. He needs to understand this whole different beast that's MLS because this is not regular soccer. And I think once he gets that, he'll be fine. There's a reason why it's Atlanta United's an outlier. No one can be Atlanta United.
Never. That's not happening ever again.
Seattle was the closest, but Seattle already had an identity of soccer in the United States. Seattle did. They won, if I'm not mistaken, the Open Cup their first year. Again, Houston won won
Houston
MLS
too.
Cup back to back. But these guys, they didn't bring in a bunch of international players.
It was all MLS.
Exactly.
And I guess it's kind of a fault too. MLS is trying to grow.
Yeah.
And to keep the same guys around, American nationals and people that come up through the football pyramid in the United States, to keep those guys around isn't going to get you the numbers, isn't going to get you the TV deals, isn't going to get you the money, the show out at games. But when you sign someone even someone like Pizarro, who a lot of people didn't actually know, but once they found out that he was coming, you do your research, you're like, wow, this guy's a baller.
Yeah.
I'm signed up. I'm buying his jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the players that MLS are starting to grow out to. So it kind of hurts an expansion team in a way because we don't get to see a full group of veterans come together and that all have the same mindset on how to play the MLS game.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have these international talents come in, it throws off the chemistry a little bit. So yeah, Alonso needs a lot of time to work with this roster, and I think he's the man for the job. Personally, I think he's a man for the job. He speaks well. He's a winner. He's very strong-minded. He plays a good style, which is huge. He's not like some Mourinho style, which is not something that a South Florida market would want to see. He plays a great style of game. It's attractive, and with that, and with some of the talents that we have. Couple more weeks. I mean, once we get into the 2020 season, give us a couple weeks into that part of the season.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't think it's fair to question him, but it's not fair to put him in the hot seat. There's no way because he didn't have the amount of time as other coaches have had to understand the game. If he was a guy that was already coaching in MLS and then he came to Miami and is doing this, yeah, you can question him a little bit more. Like, hey, what are you doing? But he literally just came from Mexico, where things are different, and he's learning. To me personally, there hasn't been a bad game yet. It's just like you said, it's been unlucky, and we've
Orlando was probably our worst performance.
right.
I mean,
But
it was
that again, that was a whole different
exactly
animal.
that's how quite hard to question him because you only got him. You got him one game, which was his first game ever.
Yeah.
First game ever in MLS. He does 1-0 against LAFC.
Mhm.
Second game, okay, we're in a little bit of a rhythm, but not really. 2-1 to
Mhm.
DC after a crazy turn of events. Then you're off for 120 days. It's a brand new start.
Yes.
I don't think it's fair to put him in the hot seat after
Yeah.
2 brand new starts.
Yeah, he played. He coached he managed the team very well against LAFC and even DC United. It's not his fault that the guy got a red card. So he's not doing anything wrong. He's not like putting the wrong guys in. He's not doing the wrong formations. He's experimenting as you expect him to. Had this been a regular season,
nothing hasn't worked yet.
Yes, it's all worked. It just hasn't worked the way that we thought it would work. Because I remember 3 weeks ago, you were like, "We're gonna win this. We're gonna win out this group. This group's gonna be super easy." It's not, and I told you, like, sorry, I'm gonna be the guy that just does the honor. Like, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be a little difficult, and so they have to learn. And Alonso's doing a good job. I haven't had a problem with him yet. Let's put it that way. I haven't had. Oh yeah, he should have played XYZ. No, he played the guys that he thinks should have been played. He's doing a good job. I don't think it's fair to. I don't think it's fair to put him in the hot seat. I think it's fair to question him, but I don't think anything was going to come from it though.
Totally agree, 100%. Keep Alonso there, please.
Yeah,
give him time.
There's no reason to get rid of him because who else would you put instead?
At that point, I mean, you can go for someone like Gallardo from River Plate in 2021 when his contract's up, but I don't think at this point you've already got the guy. You don't need any more changes. You don't. You really don't.
At that point, like
stability.
What are they going to put? What are they going to do? Put Jason Christ up there?
They would have to throw in names that we haven't either heard in a while or I don't know.
I was a bit. Here's the thing. I was a big supporter of Jason Christ before when he was with Sporting Kansas City, right? Yeah, Sporting. And I was a big fan of him when he was in NYCFC. When he came to Orlando, I was really excited. He was not the same guy, and there's a reason why he's coaching the USL team now. So I don't
know what USL team he's at.
He's Miami, Fort Lauderdale CF.
Oh, he's doing the Fort Lauderdale team. Okay.
Yeah. He's the coach.
A couple days.
No one's mentioned anything.
Yeah.
Another guy we haven't mentioned at all for the back line is our boy Breck Shea. So
that's true.
There's a lot of options for Alonso in the back line in this first game. I'm gonna
blow your mind right now.
What?
Orlando's up 2-0.
No way.
Orlando is up 2-0 in the 21st minute.
Wow.
Unbelievable. What is Orlando doing?
Chris is on point. The 2014 Sporting USA team was goated 100%. That team
was that the team with CJ Sapong?
That was at his prime. Sapong with Zuzi, with Dwyer, the team that won MLS Cup. That team was a good team.
MLS was fun back then.
Yeah, it really was. Actually, he wasn't. No, I lied. He wasn't with Sporting. He was with Real Salt Lake.
Sapong?
No, Jason Christ. I retracted.
Okay.
Yeah, Christ was with Real Salt Lake when they won the Supporter Shield, I believe it was. That's what it was. But Sporting Kansas City in 2014 was a good team. He played against Sporting Kansas City in the MLS Cup final. That's what it was. But yeah.
2-0 Orlando City.
2-0 Orlando. Predictions for our game tonight at 10:30/11 o'clock.
1-0 Inter Miami.
You always say that.
No, I honestly, I don't know what to say because I don't know how he's going to line up. I wish I could see the lineups to predict on how our midfield is going to look. I think that's the key. I'm preaching that. If Lee Win, Pizarro, and Ulloa are all in together, I think we'd be able to dominate, depending on how Dre Blakes decides to play. If he decides to pull off a Tim Howard kind of performance, it'll be a little scary. But we got to get shots on target. I think it's going to be low scoring, to be honest with you. I think our back line will be fine with Torres coming back. Realistically, 1-1, but I want to see 1-0 into Miami.
So we got some comments. Obviously, Chris 2-1 Miami.
2-1 Miami. Okay.
Great hands. And then we got Amesa Sports 1-1 draw.
Yeah. Okay.
I got 2-0 Philadelphia.
Fair. We'll listen. When
I'm sorry.
if it's proven wrong, I'm going to give you so much stick in next episode. You
Do
have no
it.
idea.
Do it. I'll welcome it. But Blake is one of the best goalkeepers in MLS.
Yeah.
The Union have a very solid team that personally I believe that at the beginning of the season we're fighting for MLS Cup. And Miami hasn't found the rhythm yet. For me personally.
Oh yeah, I don't think so either.
I think the easiest game for us to win right now would be in New York City.
Looking at how they're playing right now, it's my goodness, man. I keep on turning back to it. It's not looking good for them.
Yeah.
Which here's the thing: Orlando's now going to have 6 points. I don't think Orlando beats Philly. If we end up getting 6 points, then there's 3 teams that end with it'd be mind-boggling. I think that this result in our win would be huge for us being one of the better third place teams. That would be the realistic.
Yeah,
assumption.
no, a Miami win would be very important. And if Miami was to win tonight, they would be in second place. Depending on goal
Orlando would be top of the group.
Yeah, depending on goal differentials, Miami could be number 2. Yeah, because they'll have 3 points.
Philly's the team that we have. If we beat Philly, we'd be ahead of them.
That's right. Yeah, we'd be number 2 in the group.
It's on head to head, right?
Yeah,
Does it go goal differential and then head to head, or goal differential then goals for and then head to head? I'm not really sure. Or maybe they're doing a disciplinary thing like World Cup. I have no idea.
It should be head to head first, and then it should go to goal differential.
No, I think goal differential is definitely first.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure goal differential.
There you go. So there you go. If Miami plays well, they score a bunch of goals. I'll put a shoe in my mouth, and they being second place in the group. But if and here's a disclaimer: if they played the way they played against Orlando, it's a 2-0 loss.
Oh, easily, maybe 3
or more. So that also helps. I'm not retracting.
I want to see us play like we did against LA and against DC.
Right.
Because if that happens, we have a very, very, very good shot at winning this game. And I think that we are capable of that. I think Alonso, there's no doubt in my mind, Alonso absolutely ripped into them.
Yeah. They know it's a must win.
And after the game. So
they know it's a must win.
Yeah, absolutely.
They all know it's a must win to keep going in this group, and if they want to have a shot at getting that Champions League berth. It's a must win for them. They can't lose. If they lose, then they're gonna have to hope that they're the best third place team. So I don't think anybody wants to leave for that. I think they want to go out with a bang and score goals. Hopefully that happens. If it doesn't, then it is what it is. But it's a win-win for Miami because no one expects them to do anything. And so if they don't win, it's like okay and whatever. But if they win, like oh wow, they won. So to me, it's really a win-win for Miami and the fans of Inter Miami, anyways. Because the team
suck not having Inter Miami football for a long time if we lose this game. And
we're wearing the black jerseys today, so there's always special.
That's the key. That could be the X factor.
Forget the lineups. Put you and me out there in our black jersey just brings power, and we win. It's it's fact. But all right, yeah, obviously, yeah. Chris just put a comment again. This win's necessary, 100%. This is a necessary win for Miami. If they don't win, they're out. Forget about the what if we're the third best?
You don't shoot for that. That's not what you shoot.
Exactly. If you're first, you're last. Ricky Bobby, come on now.
What a movie.
Come on now. But yeah. So if there's no more comments and you guys don't want to, if you guys don't have any more questions, we're probably going to call it a night to get ready for the game.
We're gonna watch this Orlando game, see what happens here,
and we'll call it a night. So it was awesome having you guys on again. Penalty for Orlando.
It's gonna be 3-0. My goodness.
Penalty for Orlando.
It's gonna be 3-0. Yeah, he tackled Dwyer right in the box.
There you go. So, all right, guys. I think they'll do it for 90 minutes
up on Twitter.
Today.
90 minutes strong. We're both on there. We're both reacting to people, talking with you guys. We're going to be live tweeting the game. Absolutely go over there. And talk to us.
We'll be there during the game. If you guys want to ask questions throughout the game, we'll be there at the game.
The show never really ends. It just
Never ends.
continues on 90 minutes strong.
Yes, our faces are not there, but we're there. So if you have any questions throughout the game, want to just follow what we think of the game, we'll do that. And maybe in the future, hopefully we can literally just watch the game and commentate through the whole game. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
You gonna be up at 9 a.m. on Monday?
And we'll see. We'll see about the 9 a.m. game. If they win tonight, yes. If they lose tonight, probably not.
Yeah, that's fair.
Probably not. All right, guys, we're gonna head out and get ready for the game. Thanks again for tuning in for another episode, and we'll be back next week. Appreciate you guys.
Peace.